Hey guys, welcome to my channel. For those who don't know me, I'm a huge gamer. I stream and make YouTube videos and Instagram clips. Be sure to check me out on Twitch and Instagram. Today I'm bringing a new video focused on the shotguns and everything you need to know to improve your shotgun play in the new meta. I cater more towards consoles in this video because I am a console player. I'm just doing a voiceover of a 12 kill victory royale. If you want to discuss other topics with me, check me on Twitch and comment any suggestions. Thank you and enjoy. Alright guys, to get it started, you need to know the shotguns, their damage, range of effectiveness, and even a good follow-up weapon. Double shotguns are dead. There's no double pump, no pump attack, no shotgun combo at all. Now you need to focus on one shotgun and a follow-up gun. Pump sub, heavy LMG, whatever you get comfortable with is fine. Just use any gun with good fire rate, but if your inventory is full, even a burst is better than cocking your pump or heavy. In the newest shotgun patch, they changed the pump and tactical shotgun damages. All headshot damages, excluding the heavy shotgun, have been reduced from 2.5 to 2, as well as damage decreased from 9590 to 8580. So for a pump's max damage, 170 to 160, no more one pumps. They also slowed down the animation for pulling out the pump. The tactical shotgun is from white to blue, 67, 70, 74. So now there's no point in using a blue pump over even a green tac. The rate of fire of the tac shotgun is going to outplay any pump even if they hit a headshot on you. The only remaining advantage of a pump is its distance of effectiveness. Pumps can easily hit up to 20 meters away. A tac isn't effective any further than 10. So regardless of what shotgun you carry, it's very important to carry a short to mid-range weapon. The SMGs, drum gun, and LMG, even the automatic ARs, are effective at this range. And a quick side note for you guys to remember, in the newest update early game, I'm picking up any submachine gun over a pump, because the damage is better for a sub than a pump. And the time it takes the pump to reload and shoot, you can easily be eliminated by an SMG. The only reason to use a shotgun at all is because of build fights. It's crucial to deal high damages very quickly, then continue building, so you can maintain that high ground. Whereas with a submachine gun, if you can get off 2 shots, you're not doing nearly as much damage. Currently I'm taking any pump over a white tac, and a green or blue tac over any pump. Heavy is my number one. The heavy shotgun does the most damage of all the shotguns because it still has the 2.5 headshot multiplier. The epic version does 74 to the body and 180 to the head. The legendary heavy does 77 to the body and 192.5 to the head. Because of the damage to the head, the heavy shotgun is the best shotgun and maybe even the best gun in the game. The range to damage drop off is significantly better than the pump or tac. The ADS is far more concentrated, making it the most accurate. If you have a heavy, you don't even need a follow-up gun. Its fire rate is fast enough to eliminate opponents before they can eliminate you. However, an SMG will still tear down structures and is faster than just a heavy. So a secondary will round out your lineup, however it's not necessary. But play smart with the heavy. Like in Season 3 when you shot a pump and built, then repeated, that's very effective with the heavy in this patch. I will find myself killing multiple opponents without taking any damage at all. Right now I've been loving the heavy shotgun and drum gun combo. Allows me to tear down structures and do heavy amounts of damage from a short to medium range, and it's really beneficial in fights. So that's what I would suggest for you guys to try. So with the new update, speed in switching weapons is just as important as ever, and it's also now easier and more beneficial with the properly sorted inventory. So you need to sort it in a particular way now. So at least on console, when I sort my inventory, I always keep in mind my gun combos. To get the fastest 1-2 punch, that will eliminate opponents quickly. For example, I would switch from a shotgun to a sub. I switched my sub to an AR, so when I put them in my lineup, that's how I organize them. I go shotgun in my 3, sub in my 2, and AR in my 1, and that way I can go right down the line. And if I need to like shoot from my pump to my sub, I have that follow-up, and then if I want to go from the sub to the AR to keep destroying structures, I have that, and it's all set up very nicely. Now, with that said, it's because I always put the guns to my left, and I do that because when you shoot, you are holding your L2 and your R2 triggers with your index fingers, right? And then you just pressed R2 with your right index finger, and now you're going to move your left one to the L1 bumper and be quicker than moving your R2 trigger, which you just used, to the R1 bumper. Now, yes, you are aiming, but when you're aiming, you should have already held it down, so you're pulling off and putting it on, whereas the R2, you have to push down and put it on. So it's just a little longer, and that makes it a little quicker. And also, it's really easy for you to get the hang of when every time, no matter what gun you're switching from to, it's the L1 button. Now, the only case this isn't true is with my sniper. So my sniper, I will use in my 5 slot. And I use it in my 5 slot because it seems like it's out of the way and I put my heals in my 4. But now I don't want to switch from my sniper to my shotgun, I want to switch from my sniper to my AR. So I put it in my 5 slot next to the AR and I just press the R1. Which that's pretty much engraved in my memory too, my muscle memory, to just press R1 after I shoot my sniper. And it's okay because, you know, in close combat I need that quickness from switching weapons. In long range combat, that 1/10 of a second does not kill me. That's not going to do the type of damage where it could in the close range combat. So that's why it's important, at least I think it's important, to put it there. Also, you might want to think about getting a pro controller if you're really interested in playing the game at that level. And then you can maneuver your L1 button to one of the back paddles. And if you do that, you know, you can press that pretty much instantly. It'll be just as fast as if you're on computer and changing. Now, with that said, there's also other buttons that you might want to rearrange, so that might not be the best option, but it's always an option. So I also want to just go over what my lineup is right now on the screen. You can see I go AR, sub, pump, meds, and then in this case minis are my 5th slot. Now if I was carrying a sniper, my minis would be in my 3 slot. I wouldn't be carrying a sub, and I would have my pump in my 2 and my AR in my 1. And you know, just like little movements like that. So my lineup does vary, but it's not like crazy. It's pretty simple. You just gotta kind of think about it a little bit, and then once you've thought about it enough, you'll just get the hang of it. You won't even have to think about it anymore. Alright. And now I also want to mention that you could play in the claw, which is the fastest way to build. And the claw is when you put your middle fingers on your L2 and R2, and your index fingers are on R1 and L1. So that way, like, you can press any button at any time with any finger. Which I guess you could do, but if you're not comfortable with it, it doesn't save you that much time, so I don't know if you should actually be interested in it. But I personally play normal with my index on my L2 and my R2, and then I just move them up to my bumpers. That's fine. I think that works better for me because I'm comfortable with it. So now I also want you guys to know about your accuracy. And so thing one I want to mention is you need some control freaks. They're only like $15. If you're not interested in buying them, then it's going to be a little harder to do. But control freaks, basically, they make your thumbstick a little longer, which add a little bit more accuracy because basically you move the thumbstick more to create less movement in the game. So it just makes it a little bit more accurate. However, I have noticed pretty much a dramatic increase in weapon skill of all kinds, not just shotguns, all kinds. You know, ARs, and building speed, really. So my building speed has gotten way better, and just because more accurate, I should say, actually, because like now I'm not like building so frantically. Now I'm building much more smoothly, right? And so for the control freaks, I would just recommend that you get the Galaxies. They're actually a pretty good fit for Fortnite. They say so on the webpage, but that's what I got. I got the Galaxies. I also got the Battle Royale ones. I did not like the Battle Royale ones that much. And the difference, the reason I didn't like them is because the Galaxies, 2 reasons I like them. The one is that they're concave, which basically means that the thumbstick goes in a little bit, and it just makes it a little bit more grippy in my opinion. Also, the one is tall on the right thumbstick, and the left thumbstick is short. I don't really need my left thumbstick to be tall. I don't need to be so accurate with that, so I like it to be comfortable, and it's more comfortable at the left thumbstick. However, with my right thumbstick, I sacrifice the comfort for some accuracy, which I think is worth it because I have become incredibly more accurate, and I can't stress that enough. So also now, I would recommend, if you're not using the control freaks, to play on like a 6, maybe a 7. And I always like play like 8-7, and now I'm playing 9-8 now that I have control freaks. So 8-7, and I do that because my X, I want my X to be 1 faster than my Y. And that's because they've changed the diagonal aim speed, so now when you aim up, it's a little bit different. That's why everyone thought that their shot was off, but now that everyone's adjusted to it, you know, it's gotten a little bit better, and you don't hear so many complaints about it. They haven't actually changed anything about it. It's just people feel a little bit better after they've practiced more in it. So I just wanted to mention the control freaks and the sensitivity. You need to be at like a 7-8 without them. And you know, you don't really need them, but I think they're a great benefit. So if you can get some, go ahead and get some. They're not that expensive. Ask for Christmas. Christmas coming up. Ask them. Ask somebody for them. They're a big help for me. I think they make a huge difference. Now, also, I want you guys with your aiming speed. since your Y is slower, try aiming like that, alright? Try aiming with your Y. So what I mean by that is, if you have the high ground like I do here, I can flick down and up on someone. I can't go side to side as easy, but I can go down and up. And down and up is just a little bit easier because my sensitivity is a little bit slower down and up than is side to side. Now, I don't make it significantly different because I like being able to build fast by looking up in the sky and doing a nice flick on those ramps and ramping over someone. But, again, I think it's important for build speed to be evened out also with your accuracy. So, find a good common middle, a nice balance, whatever you think that is for yourself. Now, I also want to mention that your flicks are pretty difficult to do in Fortnite. I mean, some people you've seen him master them. Nick Mercs, for example, he does really good flicks if he needs to flick on someone. And a lot of YouTubers and a lot of Twitch people you see who play on console, they do some nice flicks, and that's a huge key on just becoming a better shotgun player in general, is flicks. Like Daquan, now that he's on mouse and keyboard, so it's a little different, but he's known for his shotgun shot, and that's why he's such a good player, is he has good builds and a great shotgun. And that's all that you really need in Fortnite. Now, the new meta makes it a little bit more difficult. Like I said, you need that submachine gun, but if you get good at switching, that good shotgun shot is really going to make the difference in that gunfight. It also sets in some panic. That's the big key in Fortnite, is you got to hit those shotgun shots. So, in order to practice this, what I would do when you break something, just try to like not move until the last second, and then flick your stick all the way to the blue circle. And if you can do that very effectively, you're gonna increase your ability and your flick shots, and that's really what I've been focusing on, and I've gotten much better. Now, with that said, so I make my sensitivity 7 and 8, right? So 7 and 8 is a good sensitivity for me. It's 9 and 8 now, but my ADS is actually a 0.38, and that's because I want to be more accurate when I'm aiming from far. So when I'm shooting at someone with my AR, and they're 40 meters away, I want to move slow because they're moving slower on my screen. Whereas someone up close, I'm not zooming in, so my sensitivity does need to be a little higher, and that makes sense, right? But with that said, you need to find a good balance. If you play short range, and you play mostly with an SMG, well then maybe you do want a faster ADS time, because if you're playing with an SMG, you need to follow someone who's that close to you. It's going to be difficult to follow them with a slow ADS. But also with my scope, I put my scope pretty high because when I'm sniping, mostly I try for quick snipes because that keeps me covered and keeps me from dying. And if I have time to line it up, I still can line it up. So I'm not like a crazy high speed. That one I run at a 0.58, I believe. So it's still not significantly, but it is much faster than what I play with my ADS for my SCAR and such. Fortnite has had complaints since its release about inconsistency in shotguns. You will still pump people in the head for a yellow 14, and the tack is even worse, sometimes hitting people for 5. The inconsistency has gotten a little better since release, but it's still very prevalent, and now with the decrease in damage of shotguns, it's more important to avoid this inconsistency. And to avoid it, you need to understand what happens. So shotguns, they're a spread damage type of gun. They contain little pellets. If the entirety of the pellets land on your opponent's head, which that's that reticle you see on the screen right now, that small square, if that entire square is on their head, then you will deal more damage. Now, if even just one shell or one pellet misses, you're going to do significantly less damage, because one pellet on a blue pump is 8 damage, so if you're hitting them in the head, you just lost 16 damage, so now that one pellet went from a 160 to now you're at a 144. And the more pellets you miss, the more damage you lose. And that it's simple, it's just people complain about it. And I understand why they complain about it, but that's actually the key. And I'm not saying that you won't get those bugs that happen. Sometimes I've hit people in the head and they literally haven't even taken any damage. That happens. It's horrible. It's the most annoying thing ever, but it does happen. Now, I also want to tell you guys, like, the damage drop-off, it's not great anymore. Damage drop-off has been significantly, buffed. Like, there's major damage drop-off nowadays. It used to be I could hit someone with a pump from forever away. Like, that was like original release. You could hit someone with a shotgun and deal 1 damage to them from almost any range. And that
I mean, although, you know, it's kind of interesting and cool, it's messed up. So they changed it, and now there's a damage drop-off, and the damage drop-off is much greater, to the point where even if you hit someone and they're more than, 60 meters away, you're not going to do any damage to them because they're so far away. So you want to be using shotguns in that effective range. That's why I told you guys to carry an SMG, drum gun, something that keeps you that short to mid-range, so you can nail down opponents like that. But if they're within, 30 meters of you, that shotgun is a little bit more accurate than those SMGs, is a little bit more precise, so if you can land that shot, you're going to deal significantly more damage. And, it's like a guaranteed versus, the bloom on the SMG. You never know where you're going to hit. So that's why shotguns are so important. But I also want you guys to know the damage drop-off and what it is. So it's like more than 10 meters, you're going to lose about one point of damage per pellet. So on the blue pump, all shotguns shoot 10 pellets. So on the blue pump that shoots 10 pellets and does 160 to the head, I'm losing 10 damage, so I'm only going to deal 150. And when you factor in all these things, that's how they calculate the total damage that you do to someone's head or someone in general. And I just think you guys need to understand that. And now that you understand what goes on and what you're aiming for and such, now the only way to counteract that is you need to zoom in. If you're zooming in, your reticle, right, that pops up with your shotgun gets way more concentrated and it gives you a way more consistent shot. So that is huge, really, really big thing. If you're zooming in and hitting people in the head, and you can even just do like a quick zoom, like you can find someone's head with the right thumbstick without zooming in, and then zoom in and shoot. And even if it's simultaneous, it makes it so much quicker, and it does a lot better for you, right? Now, the head from point blank, you're still gonna do a large amount of damage, but sometimes it won't register, and that happens. There's no fixing that. There's nothing I can do for you guys on that. I just wanted you guys to know the difference and why it's causing it. And now that you know it, you'll find that this is being pulled out of your game more often. Like, you don't see it happen nearly as much. Now, I also want you guys to know about the new high ground meta. So, in the new meta, if you're in an equal fight with someone, same elevation, you're never going to win that fight. If you have a pump and they have a P90, you're never going to win that fight. It's just not happening. The P90 is so much more effective, and even with the double barrel, you could be like 5 meters from someone. It really doesn't even matter that much. The P90 is going to melt you. So, in order to avoid that, you need to maintain high ground. If you have even just 1 or 2 ramps of elevation, you're going to have a little bit more cover. You're going to be nailing those headshots. You're going to have that third-person peek over them, and those are just crucial things. Now, I also want you guys to know I always try to stay like 2 ramps above someone. Now, it doesn't mean you can't drop down, but then when I re-engage in that fight, I'm going to get 2 ramps above them. Like this guy, I'm sitting at 1 ramp above him, but I know he's got to go down in that center thing, so I got 2 ramps above him. So I set that trap there. Now he's in the 2 ramps, and I have an easy shot on him. Didn't work out, but that's still my point. It's like I try to get 2 ramps of high ground. That way I got a much better viewpoint on him. Alright, so now I also want to talk to you guys real quick about the right shoulder peak. So the right shoulder peak is simple. So my camera, the center of it is right where my reticle is, right? It's slightly to the right, and it's about a little bit above eye level of my character, maybe at eye level, alright? Now, the right shoulder peak allows me to see more on the right side of my screen than on the left. And by using this, I can peek around corners and line up easy shots with my right shoulder peak and not cover and keep my guy covered completely, and it's very effective. This is the most effective strategy that you can use with the shotgun. If you master this, you will become significantly better with shotguns. I've mastered it, and I'm at the point now where I go solo squads, and I do pretty well in solo squads. I've won a few, and I've gotten a 20 kill win on solo squads, all because of this right shoulder peek. I'd say of those 20 kills, 17 of them were probably right shoulder peeks, and that's how effective it can be. So you definitely need to master the right shoulder peek. If you can master the right shoulder peek, you will become significantly better with a shotgun. Now that's all for this video, guys. I appreciate the support. Anyone who watches the video, give me a like, a sub, anything you can. I'll take it. It's much appreciated. And I also wanted to let you guys know that I will be releasing a review on the Control Freaks, and if you would like to keep
keep updated on my channel. Hit the bell, and you will see when that review comes out. It'll be soon. And that review is just going to tell you if I think you should buy them, what I think they do, and how good they are. Alright, thank you guys. You guys enjoy and have a great day.